One point of clarification that I wanted to make with regard to the claim that I made in another video that the law took male abuse of women much more seriously than it took male or female abuse of men. And that claim was correct. In furtherance of that claim, I offered an example of how Great Britain handled male on male abuse right up until the 1990s. And I explained how this crime was treated the same way that consensual male sexual activity was treated. It was called buggery, and the most you could get was 10 years for abusing a man. Now, that was true. That claim was 100% true. But I should point out that if you go back far enough, and I'm talking like the 1600s or the 1700s, you could potentially be put to death for male on male abuse. And there were examples of men being put to death for committing this crime. Now, I should also point out that at the time that happened, you could potentially be put to death for a lot of different crimes. And this kind of stuff interests me. I was reading the other night about I go to the Old Bailey. They've got good records from the Old Bailey courthouse in London. A really good website, talks about these old crimes and these old punishments. And there were a lot of offenses that could potentially be capital offenses. Now, as time went on, the law reformed in such a way that capital punishment was used much less liberally. By the time you get to the end of the 1800s, most crimes are not capital crimes, and there's not even the potential to execute someone for some of these crimes. However, male on female abuse, the R word that I discussed in other videos, this was still a capital crime. And in the United States, you could potentially, in some states, be put to death for committing this crime right up until 1977 in the case of Coker versus Georgia, which finally outlawed the use of the death penalty for committing that crime. In Great Britain, until the 1990s, if you committed the R word on a woman, you could be put in prison for life. If you committed the R word on a man, male on male abuse, you were looking at most 10 years in jail. So the claim was correct, but I realized that I'm covering over 1,000 years of legal history, kind of jumping around a little bit, and I just wanted to be precise on that point.